What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today, I'm going to be going over why I choose Arch Linux. I've always tried to do this video. I've never been able to manage to do it. So to start off with, when you have NVIDIA and you have Linux, it's not a good mix. The drivers, they all seem slower because of the kernel you're using. It's a stock kernel, and that can sometimes lead to, oh, Linux is bad, Linux is horrible. But in actual reality, it's not Linux's fault. It's the Linux kernel's fault. Let me explain that real quick as I start up Archfi. And I know if a Linux enthusiast is watching this, he's probably crying right now because that's pretty much all Linux enthusiasts know how to do is cry. Like, a lot. And I just totally messed that up. We're going to go with US keys. Wow, what the hell is it doing? The PDS kernel is meant for the best possible performance. NVIDIA drivers, they want to be as threaded as possible, and they want as much performance out of the CPU as possible to keep up with their GPU. So right now, that doesn't really happen, and that kind of sucks. So when you install the PDS kernel, you'll notice a huge boost. Now, there are many people that have taken this whole PDS kernel, have tested it, and have gotten little to no results. That's because they either have bad multi-core or they set it up wrong. They don't have the drivers to meet its needs. Most people tend to use really old drivers or, just have a really piss poor Arch install, and it sucks. So, yeah, first things first, we're going to select our mirrors because this is important. You want the best download speed possible, but I'm going to go with the United States here on this one because, believe it or not, most of the United States Arch repositories are full gigabit, and I want to get rid of all of this trash. These fucking Israel servers and Chechnya need to go to hell and stay there. I know that sounds bad, but Jesus, they have some slow internet, okay? I'm going to just hit yes and save that. Great. So now we are going to install this, and this, and this. Simple as that. You can slow that down if you want, but I wanted optimal speed for installation. I didn't want to take 2 hours. I wanted to make this video quick. So what I do on Linux is I test games for Proton. I do my best. I get the most amount of information I can. If I find a problem, I report it. If I don't, I don't. And because of the way I set up Arch, I tend to never have a problem, usually. I had a problem with Doom Eternal, but then I didn't because I did something, and I don't know what it was, and then I got good FPS. NVIDIA eventually fixed that for everybody, so I guess that's fine. Oh my, look at it go. Look at it go. My friend Sierra, he would take hours with this. It's hilarious. I feel bad for him. Oh god, I'm sounding like one of them scripted YouTubers. It's not good. So Arch has been my go-to distro because Fedora has issues with NVIDIA. I mean, you can get the NVIDIA drivers to work, but it still has a lot of issues that I don't like. And it's missing Yuzu support, which is even worse. You can compile it and get it to work, but for those of us who want to download and just test mainline without compiling it, yeah, that's going to be a problem because of Snoodio, which is absolute cancer. So I just want to name it Arch Linux, stay in keyboard, config, and layout. I want to generate my locale as what? Okay, there we go. I am in Canada, but for the sake of compatibility with Steam and other things, I just go with the US. So we're going to set local time, Canada. You can consider this a guide if you want to. I'm going to set local just to keep my thing. It's really up to you. And we're going to generate FS tab. Done. We don't really need to edit any of this because I already did edit it for the best server possible. So all of these are blacked out except for the United States ones. I'm also going to Oops. On blackout. I guess the Canada one? Yeah, that one's fine. And this is a good way to have the best performance you can for downloading, because you need that to be fast. Here's the thing. I switch back and forth between SSDs. Grub likes to commit suicide when I do that, and systemd boot does not. So I am actually torn between these two. But if you want to use the PDS kernel for the fastest gaming experience, emulation experience, and more, well, you got to choose Grub. So we're going with Grub today, because getting it set up with systemd boot is hit or miss. All right, it is literally hit or miss. EFI, done. And we're going to go back, and we're going to go install some extras. So these now need to be installed, and they're not included automatically. So this is the part that I don't really like, but have found useful before. And we are going to run it. All right, so we go to config. It was somewhere in here. I know it was. Install then. It's hidden. Updates. Here we go. Okay, so I want to install this. So this is so I can see my updates. I'm going to install Yay. Cool, huh? We're just going to hit yes to everything because I don't want to miss a thing. I just realized that Yay was in here a couple days ago when I was redoing my Arch install, right? So it clones Yay, it grabs Yay, it builds Yay, and then it installs Yay. It's awesome. I absolutely adore this. So this is another easy way to get everything going. It's only been 6 minutes. We already have Arch installed, right? And installing a desktop environment and everything else can happen really quickly if you set up your mirrors. So we're going pretty good. Because I was installing Linux Mint last night, the 20 beta on VMware on an NVMe, and it was going so slow. All right, great. So upgrade. I'm going to upgrade this. All good for that. I don't need to do any of this, but here's where you can edit your Pacman config to include a lot of stuff if you need to. All right, so I'm also going to update the keyring, and the keyring is updated. Great. Install downgrade. Downgrade is something you will want because downgrade works really well, and it lets you downgrade your kernel in case you're testing stuff. Yeah, so that's it for that one. Now we're going to go to install. Is it in console? It is not. Let's get rid of that. So system, kernel. So we already have the best kernel installed currently. These are the services, and I don't really want to install any of them, but I'm going to. Just in case you need any of these, you'll know where they are. And yes, I do actually want to start the network manager. And no, I don't want to do that. File system. You will want to install a couple of these. This is probably very important, especially with Fuse. Because Fuse lets you access your hard drives, so your NTFS Windows drives. Ooh, I like how it installed the 6.7.2 kernel. Great, that's pretty good. So for this, just go with everything. That way you're not missing anything. Okay? You got your audio sorted. I know it might seem like a lot of bloat, but when it really comes down to it, if you're new to Linux and you want to go the pure way and you want to have everything, it's good to literally have everything that you'll need. Like when GNOME installs itself through this package manager, it installs a lot of stuff that you don't need. So I like going through and adding stuff I do need. Like if I was to install my GPU, proprietary NVIDIA right there, it also installs the open source stuff. So as you can see here, so VMware, done. And really that's it. Desktop environments, we can choose if we wanted to, but I'm not touching this for the main reason that you'll get a lot of bloat, and I don't want that. I want a clean, nice, easy system. Okay, so that's what I did. So if I go into internet and I go to torrent, I'm gonna grab QBitTorrent because it is the best. Deluge, honestly, I've had nothing but problems with. Chromium, because I'm a Chromium guy, and that's gonna install a whole lot of stuff. So just give that a second. Literally, it's only gonna take a second because I'm downloading at up to 100 megabytes a second. Right. Okay, so now that that's done, my kids walked in. Sorry about that. Well, I'm not sorry. It's their choice if they want to bother me. They're not bothering me. I got cuddles. All right, so multimedia, you want your video players, VLC, done. And this install, as I said, is going to be very, 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 very. Let's just install these plugins so that we know we have every one of the plugins that we need for video. Very important to be as full and in-depth as possible with this. There's a lot of other things you can install with this, like GIMP and all that, but I've moved on from GIMP a long time ago, so there you go. And developers, you got all your stuff here. They haven't added VS Code yet, so... And, you know, we can install wine tricks, things like that. And... 2. Like that, select that. And yeah, it's going to pretty much install VirtualBox. So you'll have VirtualBox out of the box. So I just installed Arch in VMware and then VirtualBox on Arch. Pretty cool, huh? Gonna grab a whole bunch of stuff and it's done. Now, here's the cool part. Because we enabled the A, we can install this. And hit enter. Enter and done. Now we have add and remove. So it's more like Manjaro now because you're able to install all your packages that you want, you know, through an application instead of anything else. So once it's done, we can move on to the last part. It's going to have to build some stuff. This does have 6 cores attached to it, this VM. So it should perform just fine. Pac-Man mirrors found. Yeah. And done. Quick build process. Yeah, so there we go. Now we can move on. Configuration, we already did all this. But we are going to need to make accounts. So users, add user, or doc, that's me. And, done. Sudo add me. Actually, wait. Do I even have sudo installed? I do. So it did add me in there. Good. I just hit the wrong button. That was loud. I apologize. And now we're going to exit out. And you're probably wondering, why aren't you installing a desktop environment? I will be. Don't worry. Just exit. I want to give you a bloat-free install. Okay? dev/sda4 to mount, and then we're going to do arch root. I like saying root. It's fun. To mount, and then we're in our OS. We're in what we installed. So, because I know you guys like different, you know, desktop environments and things like that, I'm going to install the 3 that most people use the most, okay? Yes. So we're installing about 2 gigs worth of desktop environment. As you can see, I just peaked at 177 megabytes a second. Cool. That's really cool. I love United States Arch repositories. It's probably the only good thing about the United States at the moment. So This is pretty cool. It's currently going through GNOME. It's going to grab Plasma, then it's going to grab FXCE. We're using the simple display manager. The reason being is it's the most compatible with custom everything. And this video's been 16 minutes so far. I've installed all that extra stuff. That's why it's been 16 minutes. Now, let's go over this. So you're going to get the PDS kernel from the chaotic AUR. You have to edit a config, a conf to put that in. But if you have any of NVIDIA before you reboot, you're going to have to add custom NVIDIA drivers that are DKMS and are patched for your kernel. So that's pretty easy to do. I don't know, if I have time, I might go over that. I don't want to make this video too long. I think I already did that by installing 2 gigs worth of desktop environments. It's still going pretty fast, though, so I'm very entertained by this. So right now it's at Plasma, and it should be going over to yeah, there we go. It went over to FXCE4. Right. So we're almost done. FXCE is actually fixing their crappy theming system and adopting GNOME 3's theming system, which might make it a lot better in terms for me than what's currently there. Because honestly, I hate FXCE4. It's just, it looks like garbage. It honestly does. No matter how you set it up, it always looks like garbage. And I don't like it. Plus the dock system is really bad. Not my thing. And for those of you who use Discord, which is most of you. Yeah, that's right. Just oh my god. Just install Discord just that way and you're done. Okay? Now, no, you don't need to do sudo pacman-s because I'm in root, but I do it anyway to show you guys what you need to type when you're in the system. Just reinstalling base devil to make sure it's there. So let's reboot. Exit. Ow, my ears. Then reboot. So this should boot up, hopefully, into Arch. Just like that. And we're going to install the chaotic repo now that we actually have time. So as you can see, we have every desktop environment that most people use. But I'm most familiar with GNOME, so I'm going to go with that. That's a lie. I'm most familiar with everything else, but I don't like it. And the first thing we're going to do is open up the terminal. We have multiple terminals. And I'm going to use open tools. Select the community, enter your password, hit yes. And once that's done, we're going to reboot again, and you're going to understand why in a second. I don't want to have to work with a stretched screen. I want my full desktop resolution. So installing what I just did will hopefully get me that. Is it gonna? Are you gonna? You're not gonna give me 1080p. Are you serious right now? Wow. Oh, that works. Look at that. All right. So displays. Where's 1080p at? It's not here. So we're gonna go with the next best thing. And I'm gonna have to stretch it anyway. So at least we'll have a good window to work in. First thing you want to do is open up terminal again. And don't worry, this won't last long, I promise. So do sudo gedit /etc /pacman.conf. Enter password. So now we got that conf up. We can go over to Chrome because I want to use Chrome. You notice how snappy VMware is? It's beautiful, honestly. I love it. Chaotic repo. Sorry, AUR. So this is the one. And we're going to put this, we're going to go down here and we're going to get rid of this. So that's just an example repo. My advice to you is don't do what I just did. Sorry, just enable the multi-live repo because it's very important. So save that first. So we're going to copy all of this. we're going to paste this right here. And then we're going to go back to our terminal. We're going to click another window like this. And we're going to add the first key because it's very important. And now that that's done, we're going to add the second key. Done. Now we're going to not close this one. We're going to close that one. Push this over here. Hit save. Wait for it to save. And we're going to exit out. Sudo pacman-sy, because that will wake up the repositories here. Okay? And because I'm running on Ryzen, that means sudo pacman-s Linux EVGA PDS. I think it's Zen 2. It is. Okay, so hit no. And I know that's weird, right? So we're going to copy this again. Okay, that way I don't have to do it and type it out again. But you can if you want. Just not really into the mood of doing that right now. Kernel headers. Oh, did I mess that up? What if it's just headers? Yep, so it's just headers. So you need both the PDS kernel itself and the headers for the kernel. You're going to hit yes for installation. It should go pretty quickly if you have set up your mirrors like I just showed you how to do. And look at that. We're going good. So, yeah, this is how it works. For you Linux, you NVIDIA users, oh, my words are not working right now. Frogging family. We're going to go to the Frogging family GitHub. That's this guy right here. You're going to scroll down for NVIDIA all. So you're going to download this. You're going to download it. Great. We're going to open folder location. You're going to extract here. You're going to enter into the folder. You're going to go open in terminal. So here's the terminal window. Okay, we're going to make it bigger just so you can see what's going on. Thankfully, most of you are good at this. We're going to do make pkg-si. So we're just going to do that. Now, here's the thing. Do you want the Vulkan beta drivers? Because if you do, you hit 1. Most of you probably don't know what they're for, so you're going to hit 2. Next, because we have a custom kernel, we're going to need dkms. Once that's done, it's going to find the selected drivers. It's going to download the selective drivers. It's going to install the selective drivers after it patches for the latest kernel. This patch ensures that you will be able to boot again. If this is done correctly, you're good to go. That's it. It's going to install and do everything for you. Now, while that sits and waits, we're going to do one more thing, okay? So we're going to go back. Wow, it doesn't remember what I just said. So once again, gedit /etc/ what is it called? Damn, I can't remember. I'm remembering .conf. Okay, so .conf. And you're going to go down and you're going to find make flags. You're going to remove this. And you need to know how many CPU cores you have. I have 6, but I also have 12 total threads. So for me, because I only allowed this to have 6, I would put 6. But on my actual Arch install, I put 12 because I have 12 total threads. So count your threads and enter that number. You can also enter 11 if you want 1 CPU core left for the OS, so there's no lag. So I'm going to hit save on this, and it's done. Great. So now we just got to wait for this to finish. This is the important part. I will do a part 2 video because this one is taking quite a long time, where we're going to set up GNOME to look absolutely fantastic, and that should be pretty killer. But I do have to wait for this. This takes a very long time because it's compressing into a package about 300 or so megabytes, and that still takes a while. So I will skip ahead until the point that is needed. All right, so this is the point where I'm needed again. So I'm going to enter my password. We're going to hit yes to all. And this is going to install the NVIDIA driver. But if you already have the NVIDIA driver installed, you would hit yes to replace all packages. That's important. So congratulations, you have a custom fast PDS kernel, and you also have the NVIDIA drivers to match, and your system should feel really speedy and fast. So all you have to do after this is done is reboot, and you're finished. So we're going to do a reboot real quick, I guess, to show you that the PDS kernel does exist. These drivers, of course, are not going to work because I don't know how to do pass-through on Windows. I don't think it's possible, so I'm not going to bother or even say it is. But yeah, this part here takes just quite a bit of time. We're going to log in. Sorry. Forgot my mouse and my input. That's pop-up is really annoying. We're going to go to terminal, and we're going to do uname -r, and it's going to show you that I booted the wrong kernel. Okay, let's try that again this time. I didn't know you're just like, why do you reboot with the kernel, with the terminal? It's easier for me. It's less annoying that way. Okay, so advanced, and the PDS kernel failed to install. I'm actually not surprised because I'm not sure that it recognizes I'm on Zen 2 inside of VMware, but it will work for you nonetheless. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found some useful information in this. And this was not actually meant to be a guide, but if you want to use it as one, I guess I designed this video around that. And you know the reasons now I use Arch. It's faster for gaming, it's more efficient in workloads, it's better overall for emulation, and the PDS kernel just makes it worth it even more. See you in the next video, everybody. Bye-bye.